Okay, let's get this RPG a Day 24 recap started. First of all, Dave, if you're watching this and the rest of the RPG a Day team, I apologise. It's so late. Life happened to me, and then the funeral happened, and it's a month late. But we're here now, and for those of you watching on Twitch and YouTube, we're here to talk about some of our answers. The three people on stream right now, as well as some community answers for the RPG a Day initiative that took place in August this year. I assume it's August every year. I don't know why I specified. I'm going to include the link to the announcement post in the YouTube video description. We're not verified yet, so you will have to copy paste that into your address bar, but it should be fine. It's confirmed August every year. Fantastic. I'm just losing it. I'm Ryan. I'm, for my sins, the current chairperson for the UK Tabletop Industry Network, and I was extremely excited when we were approached to help support the RPG a Day event, and I'm hoping that we get approached next year. But I'd also like to introduce Sam, if you'd like to talk about who you are.
I'm Sam. I'm a game designer. I've made so far lots of small zine-sized games. If you know me, chances are you know me from Hello Wizard. I Have a Problem, the last game ever featured on Dicebreaker.
What a claim to fame!
I was the game
I
that
wish I was
killed
featured on
Dicebreaker, I guess.
I'm Paolo. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
I'm Paolo. I run Los Pages. It's a small press that makes RPGs, mostly weird spellbooks.
Thank you. Sorry, we've had some tech response in chat, and I'm addressing it as best I can. I forgot the background music was there. I've experimented with it, so I can't actually hear it for once. But hopefully that has fixed the problem, and I've slightly raised my mic gain. Much better. Fantastic. Thank you. And we are joined by someone in chat whose answer we'll be talking about later, and may be able to flesh out their answer, actually, because I will say, obviously, I've included our answers, but I also included some of the community-sourced answers. None of the games I know. So there's that to bear in mind. If you know something about it, please do chime in. But the way this is going to work, I figure, is for the viewing audience's benefit. I put together a running order using each of the daily prompts. We'll mention the prompt, and then I've assigned randomly-ish one of us to answer the question. To answer the prompt, sorry. If then any of the others wants to chime in with something, please feel free to do so. But I'm acutely aware of the time and the fact that this is your time. You've graciously volunteered your time to be here, so let's keep things moving. I digress a lot, so I'll try to rein that one in. So the first prompt, 1st of August, I'll just say the first prompt, was the first RPG bought this year, and I'm going to take that one right off the bat, because it's kind of relevant, actually. The first RPG I bought this year was the Curseborn Ashcan. Curseborn is Honest Path Publishing's new horror fantasy role-playing game, and something they've experimented with recently is putting out Ashcans. I realised that obviously the target audience of this video knows what an Ashcan is, but in case you don't, it's usually a very streamlined, simplified kind of simplified is the word I was looking for there. Basic rules, sometimes with art, sometimes without, and it's relevant mostly because it's currently kickstarting for the main rulebook. So if you're looking for a like Vampire the Requiem, Werewolf the Forsaken, etc. style game that isn't owned by Paradox, Curseborn is the one for you.
Very cool.
Yeah. I'm done with my thing about Curseborn. We can move on if you'd like, or if you want to chime in with anything, that's fine too.
Oh, I have no idea what the first game I bought this year was. I bought a lot of games this year.
Mood.
Yeah.
I also cannot remember what's the last RPG I bought this year. Sorry, the first RPG I bought this year must have been Compulsion in Edinburgh, but oh no, I remember now. Oh geez, this is a bit shameful. No, it's not shameful.
I was going to move on, but share your shame.
Now,
let's move on.
yeah.
Okay. Sam, I believe you got the next prompt.
Yeah, so the next one was most recently played, which by the nature of this is no longer true. But at the time, our most recently played game was Dusk City Outlaws, which is a boxed RPG by Scratchpad Publishing, I think. someone check that. I don't. But it's a really cool game about heists, and whereas a lot of games like Blades in the Dark and those stuff try and make the game feel like you're watching a heist film, as a game this tries to, and I say tries to in quote marks, replicate the feel of you are your Danny Ocean or whatever, trying to plan out the heist, do all the prep, and then play it off. I think on the whole, it's about 50% successful with that, but it is very cool in that you can just break out this box game. There's a bunch of pre-written heists, bunch of pre-written characters you can smash together, and it's just so easy to get to the table, which is why I played it that night actually. So yeah.
Fantastic. Speaking of boxes, though, for the next prompt, that jived quite well.
Nice.
Oh yeah. So the most often played RPGs. I'm gonna be super basic here.
Hey,
Dungeons and Dragons.
if it works, Paolo, it works.
And like also like this has been okay. This is the English version. I bought it like back in 1991 in Italy, the Italian version. I don't want to say it's what I've been playing ever since, but no, because it's not true. Like I will expand more on this later, but it's what I'm playing now. And I would say it's also for work reasons, because like publish OSR decent stuff, but also it's very simple.
Yeah,
And sometimes it's just like
there's a reason it's the world's greatest role-playing game after all. Like,
I wouldn't say the greatest, but like
They do.
It doesn't take much to get familiar with this.
yeah, for sure. Moving on. Oh, it's me. Woo! RPGs were great. RPG were great art. I kind of had two answers for this. One, Scion, just because I like seeing the classical and then like modern takes on deities. By classical, so you play as the children of gods, and each of the pantheons write-ups includes a picture, includes an art piece of the kind of traditional representation of the gods in the time that they were popular, I guess. So like Greco-Roman period, and then or Aztec, etc. And then an art piece with them in modern incarnations, and I like the reinterpretations of that. But I also shouted out Pigsmoke, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse game, which is basically a sitcom where you are the teachers at a magical school, and I just really like the spot art for the way it evokes the feel of the game. But it's particularly relevant because I commissioned a member of the Tim community to draw me a map of Pigsmoke for my partner's game, and Jog did a fantastic job. Jog did a fantastic job with that. And if you are interested in fancy cartography in any way, shape, or form, Jog will be at Dragon Meet, I believe.
Very cool.
So check him out. Oh god, and then it's a joint thing for RPG with great writing, where you and I, Sam, were just big fans of Grant Howitt and Rowan Rook and Descartes.
Yeah, very, very often they do great writing in their games. I think out of all of them, if I had to highlight one thing, the Game Master's Guide in Heart is the thing I point to. If anyone has ever need of any Game Master's Guide for almost any game, they are excellent writers and get their point across very, very well. And funny as well.
That's always a good thing. Yeah, I mean, my example was all of Grant's one-page RPGs, because just getting all of the information you need to play a game into one page is difficult, and then puts art onto it as well, so there's less page to work with.
Yeah, definitely. I
will say for chat and my co-hosts, I know I talk quickly. If you'd like me to slow down, please tell me. It's an anxiety thing. I know sometimes it's a bit too fast. Sam, take it away with the next prompt, and also, as the running order says, do the thing.
Yes, so RPGs that are easy to use, and for me, we had a bit of a discussion as what easy to use means, but for me it means the shortest amount of time possible between saying to someone, do you want to play this game with me? And then you're all playing the game and having fun and telling stories. And that's what easy to use means for me. And the reason why I like this question so much is that that's what I want out of the games that I write. So every one of my games that I've written, I like to think is fairly easy to use. So that's why I like to answer this. And I think if I remember rightly, I had trouble picking one specific example to show for this. Yeah, so we just mentioned Ronan Deckard, Royal Blood, great game, really quick to get to the table. I think they've got a Kickstarter coming for that soon, which is for the new printing, so it's kind of relevant to mention. Zero Void by McGuffin and Co. Another one, get at the table, play it. Fiasco, obvious famous one. And For the Queen is, if you haven't played, is so good. It's a little game where you all love your queen for whatever reason. That could be romantic love, it could be familial love, it could just be all the many loves that exist. And you go through this deck of prompts, going through it, just building this world about who the queen is and who the queen is to you. And at the end of it, the last prompt will always be your queen is attacked. Do you save her? And it's so great because there's not even a rule book. It's just a deck of cards, and as you draw the top few cards of the deck, it teaches you how to play. There's no time whatsoever between starting and then playing. It's a great game for getting to the table, and it does. So yes, that was my shout out. It does say on the reading list that I have to promote my games here. So as I said, that's what I don't know games. Hello Wizard, I have a problem. All Bastard are my like party games, and they were written so that as quickly as possible you can sit at the table, come up with some stupid concept using the fantasy tropes that everyone at the table knows anyway, and then just start telling stories and laughing. And they're very silly, very fun games for that kind of environment. So yeah.
Fantastic. And for those watching on YouTube, a link to all of our websites, store pages, whatever you want to call it, will be in the video description. Twitch, if you just wait until the end, I'll share the links then, because obviously I'm trying to keep things moving here. Paolo, I didn't know if you had an answer for RPG with good form. I was trying to pick answers from...
No, I didn't, and I'm not even sure. Like, I think what came out to me is that there was like a debate of what good form in RPG
Absolutely,
was.
there was.
And so someone brought up like Everway,
Yes.
which is this beautiful thing that I have no idea how to run. And I said that like we Sunday to one of my players, and like it was like it just runs itself, Paolo. And I'm like, how?
You just put the box on the table and everyone has fun staring at it for 3 hours.
Apparently.
Yes, that was Dimitri K who suggested Everway or Nobilis, second edition. I've heard of Nobilis. I've never heard of Everway, but I have heard of Nobilis. Yeah, this is a theme that the people watching may pick up on. Is some of the prompts were a little vague, unclear. So we've done the best we can. Accessory you appreciate.
Oh, this is me. It's back to me. So this one, another one I found kind of hard to answer because I don't have tons of accessories. I have loads of books, loads of games. So I kind of, it felt like a cop out, but people on the server seems to be a fan of the answer. I have this dice bag here. It's a crocheted dice bag that my nan made for me over a decade ago now, when she overheard that I needed a dice bag. So, and then next time I saw her, she gave me this crocheted dice bag. So I still use it. It is still my go-to dice bag, and it holds dice. It's perfect.
Incidentally, the first thing I made on a crochet was also a dice bag.
Oh, perfect then. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't know where it is. My partner decided she had too many dice for her dice bag, so she crocheted herself a gelatinous cube.
Very cool.
Beautiful.
Too many dice for the cube still, so like she has a cube, which is a win, but
I also have I don't have them to hand, but my first Dragon Meet I went to, I only had 3 zines to sell, and my partner was worried that my table wouldn't look very busy with only 3 zines proudly thing on it, so she knitted me a whole bunch of dice bags, and on that Dragon Meet I was also selling dice bags, which was fun.
Fantastic.
So yeah, so on the whole, homemade dice bags are great.
I've just been scanning through, and I'm well aware that now on second glance, a lot of Paolo's contributions were in the latter half. So I apologise, Paolo.
It's all right.
I want things to be fair and balanced, because that's how my neurodivergence works. But moving right along, an accessory you'd like to see. I wanted a double-sided electronic GM screen. Basically just 2 tablet screens where I can have a player view on one side and a GM view on the other side. And have that thing where I can shift rules references as required or update maps as required. I'm aware it's technically possible, I guess. I don't have the money or technological know-how to do it. So I'd still like to see someone make it and give it to me for free. And
That would be cool.
You never know if you don't shoot your shot. So if someone out there wants to do that, I'm not going to say my address is publicly available, but it kind of is. Sam, you've got the next one?
Cool. Yes, I do. This one, number 10, was RPG you'd like to see on TV. And what was discussed at the time was that a lot of RPGs are based on, or not based on, but inspired by films or TV. So it was kind of a cyclical response. But what I ended up going for was Trophy Dark, as I thought a horror anthology series with the aesthetics and style of the trophy game. So these horrible but mind-warping forests and environments, and this darkness would be very cool, and I would watch the hell out of that. If you're not into horror, I imagine that sounds like the worst show possible. But that for me was a cooler thought.
There are so many horror anthologies for a reason.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The next one. The RPG with well-supported one-shots. This is less something, I guess, I don't know, there was no real answer for this on the server. I mentioned basically Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay by Cubicle 7, and then we had an in-depth discussion about how much support is too much support, because if you go to Cubicle 7's Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay products, you've got the campaigns, you've got the supplementary material for the campaigns, which just adds extra scenes and things, and then you've got Hero 101 taverns. And there was some discussion about at what point do you just say this, we don't need to make this product. I'm always in favor of things like that because some people really struggle with name generation. I know I do, but there we are.
Can I you say break a spear in English? Break a lance? Whatever. Can I say something here? It's just personally, I make spellbooks. People have never enough spellbooks.
Exactly. No. I think we're probably not the right audience, because I know someone in chat is a huge fan of random tables. And, that's what... Oh, community answer from Magpie L. New answer for this since I ran the Hollows quick start. I want a Hollows show. I'll do whatever deal with the devil I must to have one. Well, there we are. Isn't Hollows...
more Ronan Deckard, yeah.
Yeah, is that the one with your Ascension weapon or something? Is that the one?
No, you have sentient weapons that hate you, and you go into somebody's depression manifestation to kill them, or kill their demons. It's intentionally on the nose and blunt about what it's doing, but it's great. It's a very, very cool game.
There we go. I knew that was thank you, Magpie, for raising it, and Sam for explaining it, because I had half of the concept in my brain, and the other half was not anywhere near close. Paolo, you have the next prompt if you would care to explain your answers.
Yes. So let's start with GURPS. GURPS has 1 million supplements on 1 billion different topics, and don't get me wrong, GURPS still plays very much like GURPS, but literally you will find support for pretty much anything. And there is 4th edition now, but you can still run supplements for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd edition with it. There are not many good adventures, but the kind of GM that runs GURPS doesn't care for adventures. They'll make their own. Greyhawk instead basically stopped receiving support a long time ago. There are some 5e books that are for Greyhawk without telling you. Anything with Mordekainen and Tasha on the title, for example. but for second and first edition, there is so much. We played a 10 years long campaign of Greyhawk. We've gone through a bunch of the classics and ended up with Rods of the Seven Parts. And yeah, it's just like, I'll tell about this later. There is a whole section about Greyhawk later, but like the mood of the Greyhawk sub campaigns also varies a lot. So if you want to have like, dungeon stuff or fight the demon stuff or fight slave traders or whatever.
Boy, do I have good news for you then, Paolo. The new Dungeon Master's Guide will come with Greyhawk in it.
Shocker!
Because they realised that they put out the Dungeon Master's Guide about how to create a setting and didn't include a setting in it. So for the 2024 release, they're fixing that issue.
They've done this 24 years ago with third edition as well, and then they stopped like 2 months later.
Well, there we are. Now Greyhawk is officially back. Well, not until next month, but still. Sam, you have the next prompt.
Yeah, so 13 was evocative environments, and for me, normally my answer for this would be something very the shorter and the snappier an environment description and text is, the more evocative it can be, because the more room you have to make it fit your table, but a really good sentence will get there going. However, at the time, I was just reading Wildsea, which has, at the end of the book, many, many, many pages of the locations you can visit and the weird monsters you can fight. And some of these are explained as one paragraph, some as one page. And this is not what I would normally go for at all, but the writing is so cool and so good, and the artwork net alongside it adds to it in such an amazing way, and it's such a weird and unique fantasy setting, and they did such a good job at capturing that weirdness while also making you very aware of how you roleplay inside that weirdness, that I had to give that one the shout out. So yeah, definitely Wildsea.
Totally fair. And then compelling characters. Both. I wanted to highlight both my answer and Paolo's because I haven't spoken for a while on an actual answer. So I went with Fox Curious Floating Bookshop. It's a solo RPG where you have a floating bookshop, and the game is just you travel up and down the river selling books. That's it. It is super cozy. I picked it up in an itch bundle for Palestine relief, and all of the, because you have to interact with your customers. You're a shop owner, so each settlement has a small list of potential customers for you to include in your journal, and each one is just a sentence long, but they're also kind of evocative and cozy of not only the gay, like a personality type. I was about to say of the game, not of the gay. I want to get that out there. I just stopped myself halfway through, but also of the place that they're living, because each of the different settlements has its own feel. So I took that as compelling NPCs, but I really enjoyed Paolo's compelling PC stuff.
So one of my current player, hey Mike, has this fighter, and he's ostensibly the leader of the group because he's like a high charisma fighter, and he's also stupid, like he's dumb as bricks, but he doesn't know that. Everybody thinks he's a genius, and he leads the party in this like ostensibly in the story is doing dumb thing, but the player is doing the best dumb thing. At some point, the last thing is done. He met someone from the Hobgoblin Empire, which is basically the Roman Empire, and he told them where are their villages, and drew a map for them because like they made friends. And then I was like, at the end of the session, sure, like make an intelligence check to find how good the map is, and like if completely like failed it in a horrible way, possibly like the expedition of the goblins ended up dying in a ravine or something. This is the kind of stuff, and everybody loves him. He's the head of the militia as well. Like he's an idiot.
Very cool. There's definitely something to be said about someone playing a stupid character smartly.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
because I'm sure we've all got those stories about people like playing stupid characters and it's what my character would do, and it's like it might be, but you can do this in such a more interesting way with a low intelligence character. I regret to admit that I used to be that person, but then I learned that it wasn't fun to play with, and have since tried to better myself. Oh yes, day 15 was great character gear. Naturally, we just spoke about D&D items for a little bit, and then Magpie L raised Apothecaria. I have no idea what Apothecaria is, save that it sounds like something I might like to play in the future.
They have Apothecaria in my local shop, and that is what I can contribute on it.
Apothecaria is pretty great. A nice local to me, and
fantastic.
Pretty
so
good stuff.
Very cool.
If you're watching this, go check out Apothecaria. Oh,
yeah, do.
That has drawn people. Our random nonsense for half an hour is fine. When one mention of Apothecaria, everyone just has things to say about it. Solo game about making potions as a village witch by Anna Blackwell.
Amazing.
There we are. Because I do want to obviously give credit where it's due for these things. Quick to learn. Sam, would you like to explain everything you play?
Everything, yeah. My answer to this was that everything I play is quick to learn, and the reason for that is that I very rarely play big campaigns of games anymore. If I'm playing a game, it's usually like either a spur of the moment thing, like, oh, everyone, do you want to play this game? Or like it's a one shot, maybe a two shot if we really want to treat ourselves. And it's not worth spending time teaching people how grappling works for a game that we're never going to play, or we might play one day a year later, but we're only going to play once. So for me, simple games, and like games I said earlier, I always try to write simple games, and we play. So you got like Grant's one shot, Grant's one pages, with big ones for us, but also trying to think of the last game we played. But we've played like the Morkborgs. We played these kind of games which just have very simple rules, very quick to get to the table and start playing straight away.
More just like vibe-based gameplay rather than.
Yeah, that's it. That's the word I was after. Yeah.
Big fan of the vibes. An engaging RPG community in which a lot of us just said Tin because it's true. It sounds like a joke answer, but Tin is a fantastic community, and I guess here's the perfect time to shill. If you aren't a member of it, please do go to uktin.substack.com, sign up for the newsletter, and follow the invite link in the newsletter. Dimitri K also wanted in the community to. I want to clarify. There were more people answering, but I only got written permission from a few people to include their answers, so that's why it's not more people with community answers. Dimitri K wanted to recommend the Ludonarrative Dissidents, as in people who strive against something, podcast server, and I was happy to highlight that, not because I have any idea what it is, but the name is fantastic.
I've listened to some of their podcasts. I've been meaning to more, and yeah, the podcast is very good. I can imagine that the people who would join the Discord server would be very good too.
Fantastic. Here's where the. Oh, hang on, I might be able to find it. There was a comment that Dimitri made about the server. You know what? I can't find it in 30 seconds, so I'm going to give up now and keep things moving. Oh, Magpie L would also like to highlight the Rising Tide community.
Oh, very cool.
So there we are.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good.
Would you like to expand on it? I
occasionally double. Very supportive.
Fantastic. Memorable moment of play. You can't see this Twitch and YouTube, but so I've put together a running order with just notes and message links so we can all refresh our memories. This is just a screen cap because we all replied sequentially of what we said. So yeah, mine was from memory because I can't zoom in on the picture right now. Mine was the end of a 20 level D&D campaign that my partner joined in as a joke, because she didn't expect to be there for very long because we were playing the board game cafe right after work, and she was like, "Yeah, I'll make a joke character. They're on a boat. Fantastic. I'm a cat who's afraid of water." Well, Tabaxi who's afraid of water. And then just stuck around for the entire 20 levels. The first 19 levels of that, they were trying to do this kind of standard, there's a BBEG and big bad end guy. And, his scheme is putting us at risk. He's putting our loved ones at risk. We'll stop him. After 19 levels, finally decided to ask him why he was doing the thing. And decided that he was actually quite reasonable with it. And basically adopted him. And the epic level 20 showdown that I had prepared, we were playing online by that point because of COVID, and it was after lockdown. I was like, right, we're going to get everyone together for this epic level 20 combat. It's going to take all day. It'll be fine. We'll have a lot of fun. We'll blow off loads of steam. It'll be a fitting climax to the game. I got my friend to 3D print the terrain, and they did pure role-play encounter to finish the campaign. And resolved it with a magical ritual led not by the warlock or the bard, but by the monk just manipulating key around to basically transfer ancient Archfey titles. And I was so proud of all of them because, D&D has the everything resolves in a fight mindset, and they worked around it.
Very cool. Very cool. Are we all doing our moment for this one?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I thought we could all.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Then I guess I'm next on. So, mine was similar to yours. It was part of this massive ongoing campaign I had, but as a way to do a break, I injected a sort of a mini campaign at the middle of it, where it was Suicide Squads. That's what it was. They're a bunch of anti-hero criminals that were forced to go into this place. It was a lot of fun. Getting to grips with these new characters very quickly, and the epic finale of it was going to be in this abandoned cathedral church thing that had been converted into a crime den, and they were going to be defending it. It was a siege, and the way I ran it was every character had their own little mini game thing. They all split off, they all did their own thing. Two of the characters were dueling, one turned into a werewolf. It was a whole thing, but my partner's character was like a elf bardish type character who had been very in this whole Suicide Squad-y anti-hero ongoing thing. She was very sort of nice, very upbeat, very friendly, kind of pacifist-y. So I thought, what would I give her minigame to be? And I kind of gently nudged her towards playing the church bells, the abandoned church bells of the cathedral, to give a cool backgrounds to the fights, which was fun for a second, but then I very quickly realized that basically meant every now and then I would cut to her and she would go, still playing them bells, and then cut back. So the way I kind of ended up making this cooler was having more impact on the fight, to the point where at the very end she got the best possible roll you could. This is Fantasy Age. She got 666 on her 3d6, and it was getting near the end, the natural conclusion anyway. So what I had her do, and we kind of worked this make sense, is she kind of magically sacrificed herself to this church. The bells kept tolling as she disappeared, and her pacifism and generally honest nature imbued this place to make it so just fighting stopped. People started telling the truth, and then from then on, in the history of this world, in the middle of this crime city, in the middle of this whole crime den place, there was this church where anyone who was in it, for whatever reason, couldn't lie. And it was such an impactful thing to have on the world, considering it was kind of a throwaway mini campaign. And yeah, it was great. It was a really great moment.
So there are so many events, but there is this one that is particularly silly, and I picked it because it's silly and very short. On Google Plus, there was this thing called ConstantCon, and basically everybody showed up with character sheets and joined whichever GM. It was basically pick up groups with a stable of maybe 100, 200 people. And so I ran this campaign, and I ran this campaign with actually 5 groups, all in the same space at the same time. And at some point, 2 people from the online game they joined to find the hideout of the Thieves Guildmaster, and they go into the grotto, and they find him. Turns out he's a white, as in like, typical revenant, red glowing eyes, half specter, half corporeal, drain life with touch and everything else. And they didn't have magic weapons. However, one of them had gloves of mending. So basically, there are magic gloves that are helpful to repair shit. And literally, they punch the white to death. I mean, to undead death. Whatever. There was a lot of punching anyway.
They mended his undead condition.
That works.
Yeah, they mended the undead condition. 100% correct.
I love it when players find creative uses for otherwise quite useless items.
Definitely.
Well, in this case, it was like very useful for other things as well. But
True,
in this case, they just, it was literally the only magic item in the entire group.
Needs must. I see Sam's got the next two prompts.
Oh, I'm up, mate. Okay, 19 is sensational session. So this was another day of people sharing big stories. My one was during a Blades in the Dark campaign, quite relatively long, like I think 15 sessions, and the whole thing was very Blades in the Dark. It was very crimey. That we were doing heists. There was demons that we were doing jobs for. It was all of that. But right in the middle of it, I injected this one session where a whaling ship completely, the crew had vanished, and it just gently floated up into the docks, and for whatever reason our players had to go and investigate it, and it was like really spooky. It was like mind bending and kind of like horror in a sort of tone that Blades in the Dark usually isn't, or at least from the fiction of the book. And it was such a fun and sudden change to see how the characters sort of react in this completely different setting. These characters that were very much built, not like optimized because it's a narrative game, but optimized, I guess, to be like criminals and ruthless killers. Suddenly they're on a boat and it's spooky and there's visions and they're getting lost, and it was cool. It was a really nice like midpoint of the campaign, I think. And it's me again, I think.
Yes, it is.
Sorry. Yeah, nice. Amazing adventure. So the first things that came to my mind when I thought of Amazing Adventure were a bunch of great ones in Spire. Dark Harvest, Biscuits, and Secondhand Rain are three that really ring to mind. But we had already on day 20 mentioned a lot of Rowan Deckard and Grant Howitt, so I thought I would try and do something different. So Alas for the Awful Sea is a Powered by the Apocalypse game set in sort of, I think, 1600s Britain, and there's folklore, but everything kind of sucks because it's 1600s Britain. And the adventure, you rock up at this small like village on a small Scottish island somewhere, and your boat gets damaged. You have to stay there for a bit. And this one adventure, just at the back of the book, kind of really nicely there's amazing folklore bit. It's like there's the sort of sad elements. There's sad elements, folklore. There's the longing. There's some kind of more light-hearted elements where you find a bunch of Selkies who'd left their skins off to one side and were just kind of like wandering around the beach naked. So there's all the folklore stuff, which is great. But you've also got the life sucks stuff where where the current ruler is just a bit of a dick, but also has a lot of power over the town, and all of these different elements in quite a small adventure, but gives you a lot of room to explore and really get across the vibes of the game, which otherwise might be quite hard particularly if you're coming to it from a sword and sorcery fantasy game. Might be hard to get those vibes down. So yeah, that's definitely wanted to shout that one out.
Fantastic. Paolo, I'm going to ask you to do something really difficult. Could you wax lyrical on Greyhawk for a few minutes? For the classic campaign prompt?
I'm going to be really brief about this. I'll try. I ran a 10 years long Greyhawk campaign. And we ran it, instead of like using whatever system was written for, we ran it for 3rd edition D&D. That required some homework on my side, but it was fun. We ran. We used like a bunch of boxed set. Put in like a lot of interesting characters, weird people. Greyhawk has like some very strange folk in it. As in, like, some of the NPCs are just like weird, and some of the adventures are super strange. The players traveled a lot, went through a bunch of the campaigns that, like, in a way, made kind of the history of Dungeons and Dragons. Like, I don't know, Forgotten Temple of Soikant. Sorry, Lost Cavern of Soikant, which is my favorite adventure. It's why my blog is called Soikant Hat. Sorry, Soikant Lost Pages. Sorry, SoikantWordPress.com. And Forgotten Temple of Tarit's Dune and Rod of the Seven Parts, which ends up being a trip across the multiverse to reassemble this magic rod, and which is an artifact built by the gods of law in their fight against chaos. I'm making it very brief. And you go across the multiverse, kill a couple of demon princes, and at the very end, the entire party died. The only character left in front of the big evil demon prince was the wizard, which promptly decided, oh well, all my pals are dead. I'll just snap a staff of power in its face to ensure that literally everybody dies in the room.
What a way to end a game, though. Like,
Amazing, yeah.
No, I mean, like, it was great. The funny bit is that the party forgot that one of the clerics would just stand in the corner of the room, just out of the blast area. So the cleric, like, literally picked up all the corpses and brought them back to the temple for resurrection. And that was the end of the campaign. It took us about 10 years. Yeah,
Wow.
it was fun.
can you imagine, like, just in world, like, I've given my life for this cause. The way they're snapping the rod, like, everyone else around me is dead. I will join them in peace. And then, oh right, I forgot you. Next one, notable non-player character for day 22. I was going to highlight the Archfey, but I did kind of talk about that in the memorable moment of play.
Looks like I've got. I'm on there as Lord Flushberry.
Yeah, I liked the name.
Yeah, the name was like at first the whole character. I literally introduced them when my players went to a city, and I just thought I just want some. There are rich people in the city. I need some rich, very stereotypical lords to walk past and offer them a lift. That was the only thing that character's meant to do. Just say, "Oh, do you want a lift where you're going?" And when I said hello to them, and I'm not going to do the accent now because if you can't tell, my voice is dying. But I did it in the most ostentatious British posh voice I think I've ever done in my life. And the players immediately were like, "This guy is staying around for this whole arc." It's like, okay, this guy's a main character now, and yeah, and he was great. It was funny. He was an important character. He ended up being part of the evil cult, which was fun. But I think I brought him up. I can't remember off the top of my head, but to try and get across that for me, the most interesting NPCs are not always the ones that are included in the book as the main character that they say is the main one. It's the random stupid background character that your players jump onto, and suddenly they form this narrative of who this character is over the course of the few sessions that you have with them.
For sure. Yeah, I'm going to change my answer. So I was in a 6-week Call of Cthulhu game, and you may know where this is going, or have some idea of how it's going to end. Poorly for everyone involved, really. Set in the Orkneys. It turns out the guy running the game, his family used to own one of the islands, or a castle on one of the islands or something. So it was doing like family history mixed with the King in Yellow. And we needed a guide, so he created this young girl who was doing nothing but pulling off like a black market trade in puffin meat in her free time when she wasn't fishing. So my friend just got attached to her in the one scene we had with this girl and was like, yes, I will buy puffin meat off of you to give you the money you need to get off the island. So the girl was like, yes, I can get all that. We never went back. She presumably went to the assigned meeting spot and just... That was the evening which we got embroiled with the cult. And as far as we know, she survived and doesn't trust the English.
Good fair.
Yeah, fair, really. Now we hit another one of those prompts that was what this could be taken in many ways. I think it was Magpie L in the Twitch chat at the time reckoned this was probably a social media thing where you could just tag a friend in it or tag like someone in it. But Peerless Player, I think Sam, you were the only one who actually gave an answer.
Yeah, I went for Shannon Strucci from Oddity Roadshow and other Gvalidate podcasts. If you haven't listened to Oddity Roadshow or any of those, Critical Bits was their old one they did, but they've got tons of new ones. Highly recommend them. Like the best actual plays out there for my money. Very, very funny, but very excellent GM. And Shannon in particular, I wanted to highlight when any of them I could highlight, but Shannon because they are the sort of player that I want at my table in that they roll with the punches so well. And when something bad happens to their character, rather than getting annoyed or trying to fight it, they make things worse, and they'll happily like build upon this bad stuff if it's earned or whatever, and just work with Joel, the GM, to make the character get what they deserve, even if that's not a good thing. So I just wanted to highlight Shannon, but also I guess Oddity Roadshow as a whole, in case people haven't heard of it.
Big fan of Do It for the Drama.
Yes.
Next prompt is me. Woohoo! Acclaimed advice. Oh boy, I don't know why I answered this one. I don't know why I gave this answer to myself either. But two pieces of like key advice. I'm treating it as like when making games. One is keep it simple, or running games. Keep it simple, and the second is aim for fun, not correct. Which obviously there's competing schools of thought, but what I have to continually remind myself when running games is if my players don't know I've gone wrong, I haven't gone wrong. And because I like having that mindset of I've done it by the book. It's perfect. It's as perfect as it can be, and no game's going to be perfect as long as everyone has fun, and it's a winner.
Nice.
Paolo, I picked your answer because I'd never heard of game science, and I want to be taught about pretty dice.
Yes. So game science, has been making what they call, I think, precision dice for quite a long time, and I don't know if you see them, but they're
that is pretty
nice dice,
sharp. And usually they're supplied unpainted, so you basically color in your numbers. But so that's a basic like D20. But they also have 1 second.
I can feel the dice gremlin urge is rising.
No, I can't find it. However, there is also another super cute die that I have that is from Ultra Pro.
Okay.
And they come in these like magnetic metal boxes. And they are made of aluminum. And one
cool.
is full pips, the other as empty pips. And I have a couple of sets. I bought at a discount. I have the red one and the nickelated one, like kind of golden color. They are hefty, but not too much. And they feel like they have a good feeling in my hand. And they roll nicely. And they have like a nice inertia, but not too much. Like they're just the perfect dice. And again, they would be possibly like a bit too much. But they were heavily discounted. And so I bought 2 sets.
That's fair.
The only annoying thing, in a set, there are 2 dice instead of 3.
Curse them. Yeah, I remember because I came into the hobby through Warhammer 40,000. The dice of which are quite satisfying to roll, but obviously quite small and cheaply made. So I remember my mind being blown by how good dice can feel to roll when you're not rolling a fistful of dice, which has its own place. Exalted, for example. But yeah, it's just good feeling dice. There's something about them. The next prompt, superb screen, just took a community answer from Dimitri K. Rain 2E, the screen is apparently a rules reference and slipcase for the books as well, which is amazing in my book.
That's very cool.
I can't remember what I provided. I may not have given one. I know I tried for every day, but I didn't manage every day because I genuinely couldn't think of a perfect screen because I made my own. So I say my own. I don't use one. I made a folder with rules references.
I think that at some point Mophidius made a screen, like a threefold landscape screen with pockets.
That's cool.
Which is what I've been using, even if it's, I think, legal rather than A4 size.
Yeah.
Which makes it extra annoying. But
it's got to shave off bits of every piece of paper you slide in.
Yeah.
Marvelous Miniature. Sam won the channel that day for the
Amazing.
Games Workshop Battle Wizard. Would you like to explain your love of the Games Workshop Battle Wizard?
Games Workshop Battle Wizard is the best thing that the plastic has ever been applied to in history. I'm not going to be quoted on that, but it is. If you haven't seen the Games Workshop Battle Wizard, it's the most wizardy looking wizard you have ever seen, and the kit comes with. The original kit came with enough parts to make 2 wizards, but of those 2 wizards, you could mix and match all the arms, and the bits, and the heads, and the stuffs, and the cloaks, and the this, and the that. It was all the classic fun of those online dress-up games where you mix and match clothes and things. But the best thing about the Games Workshop Battle Wizards is not that once you built your 2 Games Workshop Battle Wizards, you have 2 amazing-looking Games Workshop Battle Wizards. But it's once you finish building your Games Workshop Battle Wizards, you have a big box full of random magic-looking stuff. And if you see any flaming sword on any Warhammer miniature where it wasn't there before, that's the Games Workshop Battle Wizard flaming sword. And my bit spots, I think I've bought, despite never playing Empire, never playing the army that the Games Workshop Battle Wizards are included in, I think I've bought 8 over the years. And that is with some restraint. There have been times where I've thought, oh, I could buy a Battle Wizard right now and didn't buy one. So there has been restraint in buying 8. And
which edition was it?
I cannot remember. It was 8th, I think. Maybe is that? I can't remember. It was the little plastic Games Workshop Battle Wizard. Yeah, it was relatively recent in the. Well, I say recent. It wasn't recent. I'm.
Yeah, I mean,
aging.
They ended Fantasy Battle in what 2009, 2010.
Oh, don't use numbers to me like that. But yeah, it was recent in the grand scheme of Games Workshop. But But yeah, if you haven't googled the Games Workshop Battle Wizard, have a quick Google, and it's the most wizardly looking guy.
It is a classic kit for a reason.
Yeah.
I believe there was also someone did they're like, hey, it's the classic Screamer Killer from Rogue Trader. I wanted to shout out Lego minifigs. They're a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
Particularly when one member of the group makes them as a surprise for all the other members of the group. But I think
nice.
A lot of people who play games that have maps and figures have at some point used the Lego minifig. But there's an anecdote online I always think of and talk about like proxies and things where they were playing in college and they used food, and if you like jelly babies, and if you killed it, you got to eat the jelly baby. And then
classic.
One day the GM just put a donut down as the boss of the encounter.
Amazing.
Before we go to the next item, once I surprised my party, my players. I'm a forever GM. So I surprised my players by handing every single one of them a custom Lego minifig of their character.
That's nice.
And the way you do this is you go to a Lego shop and they have a station to put together minifigs. And they have enough weird stuff that you will manage to make a D&D party.
Yeah, I've done that in a Lego shop as well. as I think, yeah, it's good. It's good fun.
Yeah, I mean, just for people who've not had the joy of going to a Lego shop, this was, I think my partner made me the set of figures for like our first Christmas together, but it's just a random selection of things that really works, and it shouldn't.
That's cool. I like.
Yeah.
I'm never. That's not going back in the place I got it from right now. Paolo, would you like to take it away with the pretty thing that I'm secretly very jealous of?
Okay, the great gamer gadget.
Yes.
My friend Tom, that is also in my RPG group, and he's also in my printmaking group, is woodworking students. He does like cabinet stuff, and one day he posts on his Instagram, "Oh, look at this like nice mosaic joinery thing I've done on this box, and it looks amazing." I was like, "Oh, Tom, that looks so great!" And for my birthday, he rock ups to my birthday party and hands me the box, which is great. I keep inside all the campaign stuff, all my dice, all the character sheets in different envelopes. I have a million dice inside. Like, I have maps, I have handouts, I have like envelopes with a campaign name on it because I have a DHD, and else they would be around the house. And I have like dice, very small dice, very big dice in it. It's great. Thank you, Tom.
That is truly a work of art, and just the stuff you keep in it is super cool also. Awesome app for Day 29. I figured we could all answer this one. I just went with Foundry. It's a super basic answer, but if you're looking for a VTT that you pay a one-off license key for, and it does pretty much everything that like a Roll20 premium subscription does, you can't go far wrong. It does have some like initial hurdles to setting up because you self-host the server, but the documentation was clear enough that I could work it out. So it's pretty good. It does have some issues around. So pretty much all of the bells and whistles that it does are all community programmed, open source components and things. Well, not open source, but community components. So if someone stops working on a component on a module, then you lose that. It's not updated and eventually becomes too outdated to function properly. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good for your virtual tabletop needs.
Nice.
Yes. Sam, would you like to?
I went a similar direction for virtual tabletops, but I went for Tabletop Simulator, which is not free, which makes it a barrier for entry straight away, and it's not, and unlike every other virtual tabletop, it can't run on like the back of a toaster. It does have a physics engine and stuff like that, but I love it as I find virtual tabletops really boring to look at because there's no knowledge that what I'm looking at someone else is looking at. There's no shared thing that we're all seeing. So having this virtual table that we sit at, and I can just pan over, look at other people's character sheets. As the GM, sometimes that's useful for me to be like nosy and just like double check how someone's ability works, or like try and point them towards an ability, like all this stuff. And the fact that when you roll dice as a physics engine for rolling dice and this stuff. It's really useful, and I've got about 1,000 hours in it at this point from the various things we've done on Tabletop Sim. But yeah, that was mine.
Paolo.
For me, it's Affinity Publisher, or anything Affinity really, because they've done this amazing thing where you give them 50 quid or 30 quid if you do it when there is a discount, and you don't have to pay for a pretty good layout software every month. You pay once and you're done with it. And I literally use Affinity to publish every single thing since 2019.
Nice.
And it's great. And sometimes it makes me want to scream, especially when I'm trying to build indexes. And then I scream again, and then it crashes, and then I scream again because it crashes. But it's been a very good piece of software, and I believe that like it's enabling a lot of creators to just like make games that look better. And like, I don't want to say that a game handbook has to look good, but good layout means better accessibility. Better accessibility means better accessibility. Like, it's easier to learn, it's easier to use, it's easier to play.
Absolutely. I every time I scream at Affinity, I then remind myself that I used to do all my layout in Microsoft Word, so it's still better than that.
I used to do
I was so sorry.
I used to do my layout in Scribus, and before that in LaTeX. And if you know what LaTeX is,
I do know what LaTeX is. Props to you for using it.
I did mine all in Google Slides, which was an absolute nightmare. If you have my copy of All Bastard at home, that was done in Google Slides, and I'm genuinely proud that it looks anyway decent, despite being done on a worse PowerPoint.
wow, that must have been an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware of Google Slides limitations, and I assume they're worse then than they are now.
Yeah.
Magpile in chat would also like to highlight Kobold Fight Club, which I believe is a encounter builder for 5e. And I assume Tales of the Valiant as well now, or eventually. But that's my understanding. It's better encounter maths than Wizards make.
Yeah.
Also Canva. Originally there was supposed to be someone else on this stream with us, but they were not able to make it. But she wanted to highlight Canva, which is, I believe there's a free version of Canva, but it is just more layout options. It's a layout program with its own limitations and things. Prompt 30 was person you'd like to game with, and again we had no idea how to handle this. Oh yes, best calculator for encounters. Ha, I know things. We had no idea how to handle this. Again, Magpile suggested this was a social media thing. My notes for this in the running order are just freeform, maybe. I went with like Steve Irwin and Terry Pratchett because I think having some kind of game with those two people would be really wholesome.
Pratchett is
I'm really playing with. Sorry.
No, I was just nodding and saying, yeah,
I really
Pratchett.
miss playing with my cousin because he's a dad now, and like I love like the kid, but my cousin literally played with us once in 1 year and a half, and also with Tom, the maker of the box, and also with my homeboy Paolo, which is not me. Paolo now lives in Berlin, and I see him maybe once a year, and I really miss playing together.
Hopefully you can do so again soon. And then the final prompt was game or gamer you miss, and our answers to this were very different. Sam, would you like to do yours on a? I think we should end on a positive, shouldn't we? Really, because I assume your answer was because you miss playing it.
Yes.
Whereas my answer is because my friend died, and I miss Gareth. But fortunately, I got hired to work on writing an adventure to be included in a rulebook. Shortly after he passed, and the developer and his parents allowed me to memorialize him as a prominent NPC, which was nice of them.
That's awesome.
Please end on a positive.
Yeah, that's fair. Mine is my Fantasy Age campaign, where it's the first and only time I've ever done a grand epic campaign that lasted for multiple years. It was a lot of fun, and it, like many other things, was ended during COVID. And the reason why I'd like to go back to it was one, it was great. I was doing a homebrew world. It was the players all really got into it and knew what was going on. But also, I'm probably never going to do a campaign like that ever again. I'm a dad now. We've all moved. The people have all moved to different places, and also it's like I said earlier. Like we very rarely manage to do more than 2 sessions. It's all little one shots. So if I could somehow wave a wand and create a world where everyone's live in the same place, and I'm an apprentice where my bosses don't track the work I'm doing too much, then that'd be fantastic. But as it stands, that's probably never going to happen again. Maybe it will. Who knows? But yeah.
That was all the prompts. I did realise I forgot to color code something. Way back on prompt 13 for evocative environments, I did want to highlight Paolo's answer of Into the Dead.
It's Into the Odd.
Oh, Into the Odd, my bad. I misread the rule in my
Into the Odd.
state.
is very minimal RPG. I don't know if you played it.
Yeah.
But basically, it's like Horrible Dickens murder hole. And that's enough. That's all you need. Like it's a scrappy, weird horror. You play a person with horrible death, and that's why you go do horrible adventures in places where humans shouldn't go.
That's fair.
The end.
But I know, now you've said it, I can see it. I was very sleep deprived when I put these notes together. I wanted to highlight it because I gave Sam a chance to promote, and so, wanted you to have a chance to self-promote, because I recognise the logo. Are there any of the prompts that either of you want to go back to mention anything more for, or are you happy?
It's not a big deal because I ended up mentioning it anyway. I think I was also for prompt number 3 all the way at the start, because that long. Most often played, I had Fantasy Age down on the list, which is because of that massive campaign, the game that I've played the most. I'll just very, very quickly say, if you haven't played Fantasy Age and enjoy games like D&D, I think for me, it doesn't reinvent the wheel. If you don't like those kind of trad games, you're not going to suddenly like it, but it does everything that D&D does a little bit better. Just every dial is turned from 8 to 9. And I think that's worth something.
Yeah, I'll second that. I haven't managed to play a lot of it, and most of what I have played is actually the Dragon Age game, which was obviously like 0.5 of the Fantasy Age rule set. But I've loved every time I've managed to hit it, play it at the table, I'd say, because it's like they went, we like this, but we can do it better.
Yeah, exactly that.
Cool. Although that one you kind of do need the DM screen for the stunts.
God, yeah. It only gets worse in the second edition, which is good because stunts are fun, but also, Jesus Christ, tables. If you like tables, play Fantasy Age.
I keep meaning to pick up second edition. That I'm still not sure if I want to now. No,
it's good. It's great. Second edition. Oh man, I could talk for a lot about Fantasy Age, so I'll stop myself. But second edition basically took all of the fun things they found from Blue Rose, the Expanse RPG, the various other spin-offs they did, and the Fantasy Age compendium, and just made it so all of that's now included in one book. So you don't have to go and buy 500 different games in order to play one game.
Fantastic. Paolo, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Yes. There is a game that I sorely miss that I bought in 1994. I haven't managed to play yet because I really have no idea how to, and it's Ars Magica. There is going to be a Kickstarter for 5th edition in a week, as in like it starts the 15th. So I think like a bunch of my local players are going to get it, and there's a chance that 30 years later I might finally play the silly game.
I wish you all the luck in that. I've just looked it up, and my gosh, that rulebook is a work of art in and of itself.
Yeah.
But as I say, I wish you the best of luck with that. This isn't related to RPG a Day in any way, really, but I have a role-playing game that I picked up in a second-hand bookshop called The Great War of Magellan or something, and I'm always fascinated to see if anyone's ever heard of it. As far as I can tell... Yes, The Great War of Magellan. It seems like a tie-in RPG for a TV series that never got made.
Amazing.
And it comes with it's a soft cover book, but it's like A4 size, and it comes with a CD with all of the character builder stuff on it. And I'm always like, has anyone else ever heard of this game? Please tell me if you have. And I figured this was my shot to ask that question.
Which should I need to know more. I'm intrigued.
I think was there a Wikipedia? I found like one resource on it ages ago, but I can never remember what it was. I can post pictures of it if you want though, and you can go down the rabbit hole. It's a thing. Anyway, I realised the running order I did and the outro in the complete wrong order. So, Paolo, where can people find you, and is there anything you would care to promote? While I drop some social media links, some website links in chat.
You can. So I have a newsletter. Actually, it's going to go out tomorrow because tomorrow there is also going to be a bundle of holding with Wolfeld. It's going to be about 55% discount to get all the PDFs. It's 5 books and a big map by Russ Nicholson. He will be missed. He passed away last year. And yes, so all my links are at dream.lostpages.co.uk, and dream as in like sweet dreams. And from there are like all my my social media links, my shop links, and everything else.
Fantastic. Sam, where can you be found, and is there anything you wish to promote?
So for me, if you search for like Sam Armstrong Games on Google, I'll come up. But also I've got in chat the armstronggames.cards.co, card helpfully spelt with 2 R's, as they do. But there you can find links to my itch for my PDFs, my Ko-fi for my physical games, because I'm a professional, and all my social medias that I sometimes use. If you want to chat, though, best place is just hangouts in various game design Discord servers, and I'll probably be there. To promote, coming soon. I will be soon TM my Kickstarter for Tales from the Spectral Sea, a swashbuckling saga of sad dead sailors will be coming. And in the build up to that, I will be doing some design diary blogs. Hope to have the first one up today so I can post it, but it's not yet. But it's going to be my biggest and most ambitious game to date, and it's very cool, very fun. If you like swashbuckling, and if you like your characters being sad, and if you wonder how those two could be in the same game, then keep following wherever all of my socials.
Fantastic. And I assume that's going to end up in the self-promotion channel and the Tin Discord at some point?
Yeah, frequently. I think it's already in at least 2 channels of the Tin where I've been talking about it, so yeah.
Fantastic. And yes, I'm Ryan. You can also click on my link. YouTube, don't worry, these links will be in the video description, and also I'll flash up an end card in a moment. But I have a link tree, linktr.ee, because that's what they went with. Bardic Bubbles, which is where you can actually find a link to my card website, because I have one of those too, but that's more for my portfolio. But yeah, as I said at the start, I'm Tin's chairperson, so really I'm here to promote Tin rather than myself right now. Please do consider subscribing to UKTIN, UKTIN.substack.com for the newsletter, where there's if that Kickstarter sounded interesting, it might end up in the newsletter. Sam, prompt me, and I might put it in for you.
Yeah.
And also invites to the Discord. Also, it behooves me to point out, as much as I hate doing so, that Tin is entirely voluntary right now. We, as an organisation, can... the social media maven has confirmed it will end up on our social media feeds as well, which I forgot to add to the end card. I'm an idiot. I made it in 5 minutes. Yes, Tin... Tin right now is funded pretty much entirely through Patreon and the occasional Ko-Fi or Ko-Fi, or however you want to pronounce it, donations. Links to those are in the newsletter, and it is through that generous support that we are able to provide the space at conventions for our community members to exhibit at conventions who may not otherwise be able to make them, the next one being Dragon Meet on November the 30th. And we're still taking, I guess, submissions for people to post their work down to London, or however it's going to get to Dragon Meet, for sale on the stall. Please swing by the Tin server and ask for the Dragon Meet 2024 role if you are watching this and interested, and we can, myself or one of the mods will hook you up so that we can get that ball rolling. I think that's all I wanted to talk about, so do either of you have anything else you wish to say, just unrelated to the recap video or anything?
No, I'm good.
Fantastic.
We're good.
And then I would like to thank Dave and the RPG team for inviting us to take part in this journey with them, or on this journey with come along on this journey with them. It's late. And also remind everyone that if you are watching this on Twitch, this will be available on YouTube. Just search for UK Tin, I think it is on YouTube, or RPG A Day 24 recap video, because that's probably what I'll title it. And follow and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I do a video summary of the newsletter every month. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please do come to Twitch and follow twitch.tv/UK Tabletop Industry Network. I'm hoping to start the Twitch ball rolling and get more regular content on here, but for now it's very early days. And you probably just will see a lot of me, because in my non-tin hours I also stream. So it's something, it's my skill set. But I think that's it. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to swap over to the end screen, because I remembered that I set one up, where you can see our website links once more, and also the QR code for our newsletter. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to Sam and Paolo for being here.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.